Sydney Flooring has a long history of providing superior quality and service. We've been operating for more than 40 years now, and our expertise in timber flooring dates back to 1841. Sydney Flooring's name is synonymous with quality, and we have a wide range of flooring products to enhance the look of your home or commercial premises and increase its value on the property market. As a family business, Sydney Flooring takes great pride in paying as much attention to detail on a home renovation as we'd paid on the Sydney Opera House. The majority of timber supplied by Sydney Flooring comes from Australia, and here state forests are responsible for the sustainable management of millions of hectares of forest, as well now as an ever-increasing area of plantation. They create recreational and employment opportunities. They care for the flora and fauna, as well as promoting forest products. Their goal, and the goal of Sydney Flooring, is to manage forests in a way that best benefits the present and future generations of Australia. Sydney Flooring has award-winning showrooms both in Chipping Norton in Sydney's west, as well as at Chatswood in North Sydney. We also have a display at the Sydney Building Information Centre in Surrey Hills. So if you want to see Australia's best timber flooring display, this is where you should be. Both of our showrooms have a large range of samples on display, and both have friendly staff who will happily discuss your options and answer any questions you have. At Sydney Flooring, you can choose between block and mosaic parquet, pre-finished, slim wood and traditional solid timber. We also now offer a select range of tiles that complement our timber floors. For the majority of our clients, the colour of the timber is the most important choice. Now, one of the things you need to consider when making this decision is the colour scheme of your existing walls and furnishings. However, if you're building a new home or undergoing major renovations, you're free to choose your favourite timber flooring and then match the interior design to suit. Colours available range from very pale honey and blonde shades to rich, warm reds and browns. Many of the species on offer at Sydney Flooring are available in more than one grade. Now, select grade means that the timber has the least amount of feature or gum vein, whereas the Australiana grade has more. Grading is not colour related. The same range may appear in any grade of species, and all timbers will have variations in colour. Once you've decided on the colour, type and grade of timber, we can then advise you on the best method of installation. As we can see from this display here, solid timber flooring can be fixed to a number of different surfaces. Now we're going to have a look at these three installation methods in greater detail later on site. The last one we see here is a solid floating floor. This has an acoustic insulation membrane. So if you live in a flat or an apartment, you can have a genuine solid timber floor without disturbing the neighbours. The hardness of timber is not particularly significant in a regular home situation. It's actually the maintenance of the surface of the floor which will determine the degree of wear and tear. Now, we recommend the application of 2 or 3 coats of Gemini about a week after the floor's been sanded and oiled. It should then be reapplied approximately every 12 to 18 months, depending on your traffic flow. What the Gemini does is, it provides an extra protective layer, and when reapplied, the superficial scratches on the floor disappear. It's easily mopped on and dries in approximately 30 minutes. The Gemini comes in either regular or satin finish and can be purchased from our showrooms either on its own or as part of a complete kit which contains everything you could need to look after your timber floor. Also available now is a water-based polyurethane finish which does away with the need to sand between coats, meaning that even a floor the size of this one at the Homebush Sports Centre can be refurbished in less than an hour. In the case of commercial premises or sports floors, it's important to maximise their resistance to wear. Species such as spotted gum and ironbark are high on the hardness scale, therefore make great choices. Once you've decided on the type of flooring you want, we can provide you with a quote from accurate house plans. Now, if the plans aren't available, we'll send out one of our expert estimators to measure up your site and assess the requirements of your job. Now it's time to get our hands dirty and go and check on site. Well, here we are on site to give you an idea of what happens during the installation of a solid timber floor. This house is undergoing major renovations and we'll be fixing to 3 different subfloors. On the day your job is due to begin, we will deliver the timber to your site. The clients here have chosen select grade blue gum. As we saw back in the showroom, we can fix solid timber flooring to a number of different surfaces. Now up here in the original part of the house, we're going to be fixing to existing timber floorboards and joists. Whilst down here in the large extension, we're going to be fixing to a concrete slab. We're also going to fix floorboards to the steps and risers here to get a nice flow from the front of the house right through into this big open large extension. When fixing to a concrete slab, the first thing we do is put down this plastic membrane. Now this is an extra precaution to stop moisture rising up through the concrete and getting into the timber. We then pre-drill the concrete and fix these hardwood battens at 450mm spacings. We then nail the flooring onto the battens. The bearers and joists need to be at the correct moisture content to avoid any dramatic expansion or contraction. Now in this room, we're going over existing timber in the original part of the house, so this will all be well weathered. When we're fixing to level joists like this, we simply nail the timber down. However, if there is a problem with the levels, we may need to pack the bearers and joists up in certain places. Existing chipboard or timber floors may need to be sanded to make them level enough for the new flooring to be glued and nailed directly to it. Now this one's okay. The Australian standard is 3 mils variation over a 3 metre radius. Because the timber we're using on this job is less than 100mm in width, it means that we're able to use a secret nailing system. Now as you can see, the profile of the timber here allows us to fix a nail at an angle, and none of those nails are going to be visible from on top of the floor. Well, Chris is certainly making some good headway down here. Let's go and take a look at some other parts of the house. When timber is laid, the floor height is increased. Now this may mean that doors, jambs or architraves need to be trimmed accordingly. Sydney flooring installers can handle issues like this with ease to make sure that your floor looks fantastic. Chris is fitting a trim to this room in maple beading. Now the beading measures 6mm high by 19mm wide, and it has a nice curved edge. In the absence of skirting, or as is the case in this room where the skirting can't be removed, this is how the expansion gap is covered. Once Chris has made his finishing touches, it's time for the sanding. The first sand is done using belt sanders which have a coarse grade sandpaper attached. This first sand takes the floor back to its natural raw colours and removes any marks caused during the floor's handling and laying. The corners and skirting areas are done using the same grade paper but with hand sanders. The second sand is done with fine grade sandpaper and a good dose of elbow grease. First, the edges and steps are cut in, and then the polish is applied using a lamb's wool mop. And just look at the beautiful lustre of that timber coming out. Well, while the boys finish off here and the polish dries, let's go and check out the warehouse. Sydney Flooring carries a large quantity of stock to ensure the fastest possible delivery of your timber floor. Sydney Flooring checks the moisture content of its timber when it arrives at our warehouse, and again before it leaves. This is to ensure that it's within a suitable range for Sydney's unique atmospheric conditions. Now remember, we fix new solid timber hardwood flooring to 3 different subfloors in this home. Up here in the old part of the house, we fix to existing timber joists and existing timber floorboards, whereas down here in the new big extension, we fix to a concrete slab. Well, the new floor has tied in the old and new parts of the home beautifully and definitely increased this property's overall value. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to find out a little about Sydney Flooring. If you have any questions regarding anything you've seen today, please don't hesitate to contact one of our showrooms. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Our Chipping Norton showroom is located at 21 Governor Macquarie Drive and opens 8 till 5 Monday to Friday and 9 till 3 on Saturday. The Sydney Building Information Centre can be found at 525 Elizabeth Street, Surrey Hills. Its hours are 9 to 5 from Monday to Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday. Our award-winning showroom at Chatswood is on the corner of Thomas Street and Pacific Highway. It's open 7 days, 10 until 5 from Monday to Friday and 10 until 4 Saturday and Sunday.